Hello and welcome back to Lotus Reverie First Nexus. In the last episode we did a lot of mostly secondary events, but also one short main event, I think. We have quite a few main events lined up, so why don't we just do one of them? Hobbies? Sure. Hey, entertain me! The bossy and arrogant girl answers your goodwill with pure disdain. After a single second, you already regret paying her any attention. Did you not hear me? I'm bored. Let's do something. I'm surprised that after all that talk from before you come looking to play around. Why not? I told you that was my aim when I made it here. The proud girl pokes your shoulders like a little kid looking for attention. It fits her appearance, of course, but it makes for a shocking contrast with her rude and crude language. It's hard to be bored in this castle. There's always someone fooling around. Wait, don't tell me that it's your turn to cause the nonsense of the day. I have no idea what in the world you're talking about, but you better watch your mouth if you don't want to end up on my bad side. As you wish, Monsieur In. So why is Her Excellency bothering to ask me to play when there are so many others in this castle? Probably because you're the only one who dares to respond to my threats with sarcasm. You look up thoughtfully, surprised by how well Fennel seems to take your snappiness. It's true, I didn't think about that. Why am I the only one treating you like this? Maybe it would make more sense if I kept my distance just like the others. Why should I know? In any case, you'll have to look for someone else. Thanks to my amnesia, I'm not even really sure what I'd like to do before in my free time. Huh? Are you serious? If you can think of something interesting, I could consider it. What are your hobbies, Fennel? It's not like you asked with any ill intention, but Fennel hesitates. That's none of your concern. Fennel's expression is just asking you to press her further, an evil smile on your lips. Did I just find a weak spot? I'm starting to think that you're cuter and more adorable than anyone could have expected. After all this time, I think I'm starting to understand, Rose. Now I want to hug you. Can I hug you? I'm done. If you want to die so much, then I'll fulfill your wish. Easy, I was just joking. I've already noticed her persecution shtick don't work on you. I'm in an unexpectedly good mood right now, to the point where I barely recognize myself, so I'll lay it on thick for you. Let's go together. Oh? Where's this change in attitude coming from? I don't know. I just had the idea we could go around and ask everyone else what their hobbies are. Who knows? I might even remember something about my own. What's the worst that could happen? Sink. Fennel actually lets her guard down, an affable smile on her face, showing off a side of her that really doesn't appear very often. One that you don't hesitate to destroy. And we can take this chance to fix your terrible reputation. What a little brat you turned out to be. Excuse me? Fennel complains but still tags along as the two of you roam around looking for the rest of the castle members. You take it in stride since, as you just said, what's the worst that could happen? Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Violet and this is my battlefield. Prepare to die. Hi girls, I'm back. What's going... Why is Violet on fire? Mental note. Stop asking what's the worst that could happen. Let's take it little by little. So you girls were asking about people's hobbies? We were, but we decided on cooking since there seemed to be a majority in agreement. Both Violet and Rue seemed to enjoy it. Rue's less about the process and more about gobbling the product down, to be honest. What we didn't expect was Violet's transformation the moment she turned on the stove. Cooking is fire, cooking is life. Our warmth comes from the very nourishment we feed upon. If you're unable to give your life for cooking, then you're already dead. That's quite scary. If you had said your hobbies first instead of taking so long to mull it over, we could have avoided this. I said I didn't care. How could I know this could happen? I've never been interested in cooking in the first place. For all these reasons, if you want to cook, you have to take it seriously. Let us begin the cooking contest to see who can bring forth the best dish. Violet, who up until now was answering the statement, I can't even crack open an egg with the biggest speech ever in human history, finally calms down. The very non-metaphorical flames around her vanish and the good old Violet returns to the surface. Do not worry, I'll teach you anything you need, okay? Do not hesitate to ask me anything. This contrast only makes her even more terrifying. This is coming from me, and I've seen many terrifying things in my life so far. I'm scared. Someone hold me. Hands off, pretty face. I already knew I'm pretty, but thanks for the compliment. Excuse me. Rue, who's had his hand raised for a while now like a kid in school, is finally granted his turn to talk to Violet. Her face is lit up in a radiant smile, which only makes you all the more scared at how Rue is going to destroy it. I offer myself as judge for the cooking contest. No. Aww. You love sweets too much. I know you'll just add sugar to everything. That's the only correct solution. Are you trying to defile my kitchen? And back to the flames. I think we could make the most of this fire by toasting some marshmallows or something. All of you look at Fennel suspiciously. This is the first time she's proposed something related to the activity. Is she assimilating? What a cutie. Fennel has to smack the two of you aside to avoid the incoming hugs and jokes. In the meanwhile, Violet and Rue seem to have finally settled their dispute. I have no other choice. Oh, Rue, what would you ever do without me? You're going to participate in the contest, and I'll get you out of this bad path, no matter what. I'm going to regret asking this, but who's going to be the judge then? Me, who else? My judgments are all fair and just because I possess the skill of the god tongue. Did I make it in time? Thistle pops up in the kitchen from who knows where. Nobody invited you, you old codger. No need for any invites, I just found out about the cooking contest, so I came as quickly as I could before any tragedy could befall this place. If by tragedy you mean something burning up, too late. No, something even worse. I'm talking about a copyright infringement. Shows about chefs, especially angry ones, are too trendy nowadays. We can't just let it be. A lawsuit will come our way. I was going to try and reason with him in regards to most of the population no longer existing and all that, but seeing him speak with such passion, I'd better forget it. I'll just go back to my usual Fennel bullying on the subject of marshmallows. I already explained it's just an old habit of mine. When you have a difficult life, you end up learning how important it is to take advantage of any opportunity, no matter how small. That would sound like wise advice if it wasn't for the context. What started as a joke quickly escalates into something much bigger. For some reason, everyone seems to have been infected by Violet's enthusiasm. The competition to see who can prepare the most delicious dish begins. First, you have to gather the right ingredients, then the necessary tools, and finally prepare the kitchen itself for the event. You are all set except for one little detail. The kitchen isn't big enough for all of you. Someone will have to be left out. I'll get out of the way in no time. Out of the competition? But after putting in so much work, nobody should suffer such misfortune. I don't really care that much, seriously. The fairest approach in this situation would be to assess everyone's motivations. Those who can't pass the cut will have to wait for a different occasion. I'm already offering. I don't really care if that different occasion never happens. It'd be better that way. Our motivations? They're too strong, but I guess we have no other choice. Anyone want to start? I've been talking for a while now, but nobody is paying any attention. If it's about a motivation to win this contest, then I'm your man. Ryu, who's never interested in anything ever, is actually the first one to talk. His words convey an explosion of emotions that you never thought possible coming from him. However, his face is still as deadpan as ever, so the dramatic zoom doesn't work that well. My very life is dedicated to sweets, so I'm the person who's spent the longest in the kitchen. I'm the one who has played, laughed, cried, and suffered the most between these walls. I must prove to everyone that the path of sugar is the proper path. I have to send all dietitians, doctors, and dentists, together with their health recommendations, back to hell. I know you're trying to sound epic, but you really should listen to your doctor. Everyone's eyes fall on Violet. That last sentence about doctors is a clear declaration of war from Rue, and Violet seems like she's happy to accept the challenge. Watching from the sidelines, Rose smiles confidently. Her competitive streak means she's obliged to stand up next. If it's motivation you need, I definitely won't be left behind. My love for the kitchen is infinitely deep. After all, isn't cooking also science? My pride demands I show off what I've fought for all these years. This is nothing but another stepping stone on my journey to prove I'm the best in this domain. I'd take you more seriously if you hadn't just said a moment ago how you've never been interested in cooking in the first place. Rose faces Violet with her own declaration of war. The latter looks satisfied with the boost in Rose's eagerness. Thistle takes a deep breath, passing the crowd around him. His presence, as always, forces you all to fall silent and listen closely. For me, it's of the utmost importance to prove that any parallels to any other cooking war or contest are not based on any other works or media. Any resemblance to other TV or comic series whose intellectual property is appropriately registered under the corresponding legal organization is nothing but pure coincidence. Yeah, I don't even need to point out the problems here. A standing ovation fills the room. The audience freaks out in the face of Fizzle's gallantry and unmatched determination. A single tear rolls down Violet's cheek. How is anything you said even remotely related? Fennel politely interjects with her own statement. My motivations? I have none, I was just bored. A cold breeze blows through this kitchen despite there being no open windows. I'm sorry, I believe I couldn't hear you properly just now, Fennel. Are you implying that the sacred of cooking is nothing but entertainment to pass the time? At least I'm being honest, not like the others. Hey, my intentions are very real. Wasn't referring to you. Then let's just leave Fennel out. No need for any more drama. This all started because of Fennel. Leaving her out would kill the purpose. What if we gave her a worthy motivation to fight for? Rose smiles, drawing the attention of the rest of the room. An attention that you're envying right about now. Why is that when it comes to cooking everyone completely ignores you? I could tell you why. It just came to my mind, but how about we make a bet? If there's something at stake, it'll be more exciting and ensures everyone's giving their best. The group nods in approval at Rose's idea, but then the questions start popping up. It's not like you guys have anything worth betting on at the moment. What if we put some kind of secret on the line? I'm sure I'm not the only one curious about Fennel, the famous heroine. Alright, sounds interesting. What do I gain from this? That's a problem. Compared to you, we're all normal people, so our secrets are not as juicy. However, we can kill two birds with one stone. In exchange, we can allow Sync to participate alongside you, so you two would be a team. That should work as well enough handicap so that our secrets can match up to those of both of you two. Plus, this way we can all participate, since you two will be sharing the same space. Fennel looks over at you. She seems to find all these negotiations amusing. Interesting. Very well. It's a deal. But I have one more condition. I wish to know beforehand what kind of secret you want to know about me. I'll keep to myself what I want to ask until after I've won. That's a bit unfair considering the handicap's already in place, I'd say. No, that's fine. We accept. It's not like we're going to lose anyway. The two girls face each other down. No one dares to raise any complaints. Well, what do you want to know? Rose doesn't even bother to ask the rest for their ideas, though she does pause a second before dropping the bomb. Tell me the rumors about you wanting to become the new queen. Are they true? The air freezes. The faces of all present instantly change. Violet furrows her brow in a worry, not wanting this event to end on a bad note. Rue looks askance, paying special attention to the facial expressions of the two girls. Fizzle sighs. Rose remains stoic and vigilant. And Fennel simply enjoys it. Wow, you leapt straight to the point. And why would you like to know that now? No reason in particular. The world's ending after all. Still, the possibility undoubtedly entered the mind of everyone who knows how monarchs are selected in Maya. And what happens if I refuse to answer that question? Well, we can try something else. Like, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? Or if you've ever liked someone? I have nothing but childish curiosity. Fennel acts all exhausted, but in reality she can't hide the fun she's having at how this event is turning out. I'd almost prefer to answer the first question. I have a reputation to maintain. Fennel happily accepts, and the group finally redirects their attention to the actual contest. Violet acts as the mediator, directing all of you to take your positions, leaving those previous discussions behind. Hey Sync, let's go. You have to lend me a hand. Although you don't believe everything will be resolved so simply. You can start cooking. Now. The sounds of bustling footsteps and clanging metal fills the kitchen. Looking at your faces alone, it seems the two of you are ready to confront any challenge. But in reality, you have no idea what you're doing. What ingredients are these, and what are we supposed to do with them? Rations. To be honest, that's the only thing I know how to make. Rations? Like stuff soldiers eat on the battlefield? That's right. Got a problem with that? Well, you look like you're just packing raw food into a box. To be honest, that can't even be called cooking. I still see no issues with that. I sometimes forget due to how young you look, but I suppose it is true that you have been through war. That explains you picking up all the weirdest ingredients, I guess. Snakes, rats, mushrooms, that's what I'm used to. Though I'm not sure what surprises me more, you picking those things up or the fact we had those things in our storage in the first place. Have you been permanently stuck in a jungle your entire life or something? When the war was over, I didn't have to worry about cooking anymore, so I didn't bother learning. With that experience, I'm not sure if we're going to win this war. Since we're on it, and I have nothing to do anyway, is it true that all this tastes like chicken? All these animals? It's true for most of them, but not all. I don't dare taste them myself, so open your mouth. Fennel turns her head, her hand still continuing her chef business while you feed her a strip of meat. This tastes like chicken. Oh, so snakes do taste like chicken. What about this? That one too. That was a frog. And this? No, that one doesn't. That was from a rat. Maybe it has to do with whether it's a mammal? Tell me about this one. That one doesn't either. That was chicken. Literally chicken. Have you ever tasted chicken in your entire life? Of course I have. I think... okay, I don't know. My palate's pretty much dead. That's why I can eat anything without a single complaint. Not my fault that my senses are roughed up and I can't feel a thing. And you plan on winning this without a working palate? At least I'm trying instead of complaining. Unless you know how to cook somehow, which I doubt. Me? Not really, but I can try. What's the best dish you can cook that won't take us over the time limit? Well, I can cook microwave popcorn without burning it. I'm at your service, chef. Uh-huh. Time's up. Stop cooking now. You and Fennel look at each other, knowing you outdid yourselves this time. Bring your dishes here. Violet's chair feels more like a throne, raising herself over everyone else as the highest authority in the land. Fizzle is the first to bring his dish up. He proceeds to lift up a fancy cloche to reveal his magnum opus. It's your usual burger with fries found in any fast food restaurant. It may look like the usual burger from a very famous fast food restaurant, but take a good look at the logo. In reality, it is Whack Donald King, lawsuit averted. If you wanted to avoid trademark infringement, wouldn't it have been easier to make something entirely different? I mean, you could have also just not named it. The audience starts clapping, impressed by Fizzle's ingenuity. Why in the world are you celebrating this madness? Silence, please. I will now taste the dish of the first participant. Violet analyzes the burger's makeup, checks every detail of its presentation, lifts it up to her mouth and savors the first bite. She needs nothing else to proclaim her verdict. If I had to express what this dish makes me feel, it's similar to that sensation when you leave your house and for a second you worry you've forgotten your keys. But then you check your pocket and find them there, giving you great peace of mind. What kind of comparison is that? All the other competitors call out their admiration, shock and respect. Fizzle smiles and adjusts his glasses, then gracefully moves to the side to make space for the next participant. Stop admiring this idiocy. My turn. Rose reveals a dish that blinds you all with its spectacular golden brilliance. I present to you my free-range hidden aromatized semi-curled œuf au point d'or ballonné, version 2.0 XP. So, a common omelette. A very common omelette. Saying it proudly does not make it any better. Violet delicately carves up the free-range hidden aromatized semi-curdled œuf au point d'or ballonné, version 2.0 XP with her fork. Then, as she tastes it, her eyes open wide. This is... Everyone gasps in astonishment. It is possible Rose's dish is that good? If I had to explain it, this taste is like when you reach the supermarket cash register and there's a long line. But one of the employees opens up a new register right next to it and you make your way there smoothly, getting to skip the line. I still don't get these comparisons. The exclamations of surprise heighten in length and amplitude. Rose has clearly taken the lead. This system makes no sense, so stop acting all surprised. Zink, I understand your frustration, but don't let Rose's dish distract you. It's our turn now. Fennel brings out the fruit of your labors. Her steps are infused with a firm and elegant confidence. The moment she reveals the dish, it's not the color that attracts everyone's attention, but its incredible smell. Oops. What is this supposed to be? As you can see, we prepared a 67 treasures rice. 67? It's basically rice with stuff. Stuff! In short, we're not even sure ourselves what's in it, since we just kind of threw ingredients in randomly. I would even dare say we don't really know how the rice got in there. Ryland's hands trembles as she dips her spoon into that undefined rice. The multitude of changing expressions that fit across her face rivals the number of different flavors imprisoned within your dish. This is... oh no! Her body heats up, her cheeks redden, an electric shock jolts through her nervous system, exploding in a bomb of flavor. Violet's expressions, even her reaction, is indecent. You almost feel the urge to cover Fennel's eyes. Do you want to keep looking, or would you rather respect Violet's privacy? Keep looking. Oh, there are too many flavors here. I can't contain it. Violet's breathing speeds up and her buttons pop off. You just knew that shirt was too tight. Impossible. How can anyone react like that to some food? No, it's not impossible. It's a very common reaction if we consider a few factors. Therefore, we can guarantee that any resemblance to any other product with similar ideas is not a violation of intellectual property rights. Okay, this is getting old. I still have no idea what you're even talking about. It takes her a while, but Violet is still heated up and panting, finally passes her verdict. This is exorbitant, strong, aggressive, yet at the same time, by some kind of miracle, it feels like the flavors match each other. This is obscene. No, I can't say what it represents. I'm too embarrassed to do so. You cannot run away now, Violet. We depend on your judgment. But... No matter how hard it is for you, Violet, we respect your work. Whatever it may be, we'll take it seriously. It's too much. It's not like it's going to make any difference. Your analogies make no sense anyway. If I had to explain this dish... Wait, why is it my comment that finally convinces you to say it? It's like when you go to the toilet and realize there's just a tiny bit of paper. But that's good enough because you finish with it perfect. All the attendees stand up from their seats. Screams, euphoria, jealousy. This unexpected plot twist makes this contest all the more thrilling. I still don't get it at all. It takes a while for the mood to calm down, but there's still one last participant. It's my turn, Violet. I'll make you swallow all your own words. I've got this in the bag. Rue approaches and violently slams his plate down, unveiling his food. Diarrhea. But you didn't even try it. No need, this is just diarrhea. She was so bashful just to mention a toilet before, now look at how clear and concise she is now. Take a bite first and then tell me what you truly think. You may be surprised. You just picked some pre-cooked meal and filled it with some candy, chocolate, and God knows what other trash. Diarrhea, period. I'm impressed. The most accurate rating so far is about the dish she didn't even taste. Try the food, Violet. Alright, if you insist, but only so you leave me alone. Violet reluctantly pokes at a portion of the dish that at least looks edible, clearly unwilling. After hesitantly tasting it, she remains silent. Violet, don't tell me that's actually good. The moment Violet opens her eyes, everyone pays immense attention to what she has to say. Great expectations on their minds. If I had to compare it to something... It's like when you wake up worried, fearing your alarm didn't go off, but then you look at the clock and you still have half an hour more to sleep. Impossible! If you follow the cliché to maximize the surprise and excitement, the last one to present their dish must be the winner. Until now, Rue used to set fire to the kitchen every time he tried to make anything. He didn't do it this time, which must mean something. Oh right, I'd forgotten about the fires. But then... Violet raises her index finger. It seems there's more to her description. Then you end up late to work because it was the day after daylight saving time switch, and because you slept in for too long, you're fired from your job and die. No, seriously, this is just diarrhea. It's so horrible it could be considered a crime against humanity. I want to speak with your legal guardian. What would you know? However, Rue, I'm glad to see you finally managed to prepare something without any accidents. It's certainly progress, and that makes me proud. Rue acts uncompromising despite Violet's efforts to cheer him up, as if he was ashamed to have been criticized despite actually putting in effort for once in his life. If this ends the contest, then are we done? Oh, about that, Rose wins. It takes a while for Fennel to understand Violet's answer. The latter is forced to explain herself. Look, the analogy I used for you girls' dish was a toilet. It was still disgusting. But what about that delightful moment you had there? Who said that was delightful? Huh? Well, I guess that makes sense. What do you mean? None of this has made any sense for a long while now. I won, just as expected, Fennel. Not like it's a surprise since I always win, but you know what that means, right? Your partner frowns, clearly displaying her vexation. I know, the secret. No need to insist. Fennel's eyes roam around the room as she sighs. The question was whether I had any intentions to overthrow the queen, wasn't it? Well, the answer's easy. Yes, I was making plans for a second attempt to take over the position of Queen of Maya. Happy? Given your lack of memories until recently, her answer doesn't mean much to you, but everyone else's reaction is priceless. Second time? Was there a first attempt? The sheer uproar from all sides makes it harder to hear individual voices clearly. Oh, well, I guess you didn't know that. Yes, there was a first attempt. How did it go? What happened? How did it fail? Hold your horses. The bet was just for one question. The rest have a price. You can't do this to us. If you want another bet, sure, anything's fine. Not so fast. It's not like I have any reason to accept any more bets now. I wouldn't have minded telling it all before, but after that bet, I think I'd rather keep it to myself. That way you all can suffer the uncertainty. Oh, come on. Didn't you say you always win, Rose? Fennel laughs cockily, leaving the room without another word, leaving everyone else astounded. But that's precisely why you can't help but follow her. I almost forgot, Sig, but thanks. That was fun. Even if it was all very silly, even if I consider it a waste of time, I think it was worth it at the end. Thanks. You're welcome. I'd actually forgotten how this all started in the first place. Very appropriate for you, forgetting things, huh? Although, now that I think about it, didn't we leave a lot of food back there in the kitchen? Violet may say whatever she wants, but I'm sure it'll all taste way better once it sweetens. Let's try it out now. Rue's breathing speeds up and his buttons, no, his entire shirt blows away. But despite all that, his indifferent face doesn't change whatsoever. What in the world are you doing now, Rue? 2 hearts for Fennel. I didn't have to run away anymore. Alright, so that was quite the long main event, about 25 minutes. Compared to the last one, which took like 7. So we'll do some secondary events now. What do we do? Paranormal activity, sure. How did I get into this? It wasn't your intention for these two to end up in the same place, but none of that exists, you all could. Are you sure? Just because we don't have an explanation doesn't mean they... You were just passing by and they decided to make you the mediator. Forget it, I'm sure I can find a good explanation for any poltergeist you put in front of me. Should we kick off with the incident itself? You can't just take one side, it could end badly if you aren't careful. That doesn't count and you know it, give me something else. I can give you a few cases that happened to us here recently. Like I'm going to believe those. You'd better keep your own opinions to yourself for once and to avoid making things worse. By the way, have you noticed, with like the more we progress into the game, like the worse the grammar in the sentences gets? Don't underestimate the supernatural. Sync sure knows that. It kind of makes me think that they just had like 3 proofreaders, and like by this point in the game 2 had given up, so there was just one guy just trying to correct all the mistakes. Something like that. You're not going to believe the old man's gibberish, are you, Sync? So all you can do is nod and smile. Nod and smile very slowly. I just want to crawl under a rock and die. First case, the strange noises from the underworld. Tock, tock, pum, pum, it's the sound of the dead buried under this castle. It was probably nothing more than a minor quake or someone playing especially loud music. Do you really believe the dead are down there having a rave? I thought we'd all know by now who's the culprit. Rose passes behind you holding a box of firecrackers that she chucks around while laughing like a maniac. Second case, there are days when you can hear the roar of a wild beast in the distance. A lion, or maybe something worse. There are no more animals since the incident. How do you explain that? Wouldn't that just be your belly? All I know for sure is that you need hearing aids. How in the world have they not realized? You see Rose leaning out the window of a tractor she's driving in a reverse down the hall. Yes, she's transporting even more firecrackers. Third and last case, there's these inexplicable flashes of light inside the castle. What? That would just be a broken light bulb or something? It's happened many times, and it's so strong it actually blinds you for a few seconds, and that's without even mentioning the noise. It happens during the day with clear skies and indoors. That makes no sense. That would be magic? No. Wait, I'm sure you're lying. You're petrified in place. Haha! Welcome to Rose's superb fashion show. Rose prances down the stairs, showing off her new outfits, all while a brilliant pyrotechnics show goes off in the background and loud music blasts through the hall. Your retinas are burning, but you don't even care. You're most impressed by how neither Thistle nor Fennel has reacted to this at all as they continue arguing. Is that the best you can come with? You shouldn't underestimate paranormal events. I'm sure you just made it all up. You won't deceive me. No, and Sink can confirm. Wait, where's Sink? Even though they hate each other so much, it seems they're unable to pay attention to anything around them when they are together. You let out a small cackle while you hear them arguing in the distance. For now, it's better that you take care of something else. Thanks for coming to our show, my lovely fan. Shall I sign my smutty autograph on your butt? That's not a pen, Sink. Sink? Sink! And that's how you end having tractor races all around the castle. What? It seems fun. I would have joined in too. It doesn't seem like much has changed between you and Thistle. But I understand Fennel better now, and Rose as well. What other secondary events do we have? Indifferent, sure. Something feels odd here. Your words shattered the silence in the hall. Fennel and Rue turned their heads to look at you. I'm talking about you two. Fennel and Rue each silently point to the other, not sure what's going on. I thought you two wouldn't get along. Rue is always looking for some peace of mind, while Fennel does nothing but cause trouble. Also, I was scared Rue would try to test her, just like he did to me. What are you talking about? What test? The man narrows his eyes warily and raises one finger. First, she doesn't need any tests since she's way savior than you. And now I regret asking anything. Secondly, you're wrong about us getting along. Fennel and I detest each other. Yeah, he gets on my nerves, and that's considering we haven't even talked much in the first place. Same here. I think we shouldn't have let her into the castle. It bothers me how he's always so quiet and just lurking around. His mere presence irritates me. The two nod cordially to each other, all while continuing to establish their mutual animosity with complete certainty. You called that detesting each other? Huh? Isn't it? I've never seen two people detest each other in such a calm and considerate manner. It's true that I raise my voice more at Thistle, but with this guy I don't even want to bother. He's just garbage. Likewise, all that heroin nonsense with her stupid titles, but she's nothing but a cheeky brat. Why bother? I agree, especially after the incident. Yes, all these famous faces one after another are frankly overwhelming. I wasn't the first one you met. Not in my particular case, and you all rubbed me the wrong way. To be honest, can't you see how furious and grumpy I am right now? You spend several minutes concentrating on studying Rue's face, but he doesn't even blink. The embodiment of neutrality. Totally agree, Rue. I share your contempt. I would rather gouge my eyes out than continue observing you for one more second. Likewise. The two nod once more with conviction, then shrug in unison and go back to their own business. I don't get it. Seriously, don't they remind you of something? It's really easy to see. Thistle, who is just passing by, approaches you and whispers covertly.
They behave exactly like a married couple after many years together.
Ah! What the hell? Suddenly it feels as if all the secrets of this universe now make sense. Oops. You understand Rue better now. And Fennel as well.
How are you doing? Did you have fun today? No, don't answer. Your face says it all. In any case, what should we talk about?
I don't have any information to share. I can ask about Thistle's aspiration.
You mean what I told you about Fennel?
You said you would climb as high as you needed, but how high are we talking?
I guess I was wrong. I never really made it high at all. I already told you I was just a teacher, and that's the truth.
So, are you telling me everything else you told me was a lie?
No, I simply expressed myself in the wrong way. The top is dangerous because everyone sees you. I prefer to do everything from the bottom where no one can see me.
That's why you were just a simple teacher.
Well, not so simple, if that answers your question about my experiences with guns a bit better. I knew people from my army years. I knew who had power and who didn't. What I did was play my cards well without anyone noticing.
So you weren't lying when you talked about fighting the world?
Sink, I think you haven't realized it yet, but as outrageous as it may seem, I never lie.
Alright. Sweet dreams. Your sleep is placid and undisturbed. All seems to be fine? But for how long? There's still a lot of time left, but you should be careful to prevent the castle's tension from rising too much. Yes, for now, all is fine.